Hello, dear readers, and welcome. Today, we're diving into a heartwarming tale set against the vibrant backdrop of Namibia. What happens when a prince searching for true love stumbles upon a humble girl at a sacred stream? Little does Esiankomo know that her life is about to change forever, but not before jealousy and deceit threaten to steal her destiny. Will truth and kindness prevail? Keep reading to find out. Esiankomo's days were a ceaseless cycle of labor and endurance. Each morning, before the first light of dawn touched the village of Ehenje, she was awake, tending to the household. Her hands were raw from scrubbing pots, her back sore from carrying water, yet she moved with a quiet resilience. Her stepmother, Taimi, ensured that her workload never lessened, while her stepsisters, Kakuva and Kandali, flaunted their fine dresses and practiced dances for the upcoming Imbolela festival. Esiankomo often found herself lost in thought during these long days, recalling the warmth of her late mother's touch and the soft melodies she would hum while braiding Esiankomo's hair. But those memories were her only solace, for Taimi made no effort to hide her disdain, treating Esiankomo as little more than a servant. The village square was alive with excitement. A royal messenger from the Ovambo kingdom had arrived, announcing that Prince Pendapala would attend the festival at the sacred stream of Okanjira, a revered site among the villagers. Whispers of prophecy spread quickly. The woman who won the prince's heart at Okanjira would not only become his bride, but would also usher in prosperity and blessings for the kingdom. For many young women, the festival was their one chance to change their fate. In the kitchen, Esiankomo listened as Taimi and her daughters discussed their grand plans. Kakuva twirled in front of the small mirror, imagining herself as the chosen one. Kandali practiced her curtsy, rehearsing her introduction to the prince. They paid no attention to Esiankomo, who, as always, worked in the background, but in her heart, Esiankomo dared to dream. She imagined herself at the stream, wearing her mother's cherished omushasho, a traditional dress adorned with beads that shimmered like sunlight. She pictured the prince, kind and wise, seeing her for who she truly was. Her reverie was interrupted by Taimi's sharp voice. Esiankomo, she barked, stop daydreaming. Tomorrow, before the sun rises, you will fetch water from Okanjira. Esiankomo hesitated, knowing that the stream was sacred on the day of Imbolela. But Mother Taimi, she said cautiously, the elders say the stream must not be disturbed on festival day. Taimi's eyes narrowed, her voice cutting like a blade. Are you questioning me? Go early before anyone important arrives. You won't be ruining anyone's day with your miserable face. The words stung, but Esiankomo nodded, her heart heavy. That night, as Taimi and her daughters busied themselves with preparations, Esiankomo sat in the shadows, clutching the small amulet her mother had given her before she passed. It was smooth and warm, a symbol of protection. True beauty lies in the kindness of your heart, her mother had said. The world will see it one day. As sleep overtook her, Esiankomo dreamed of the stream. In her vision, the waters glowed with an otherworldly light, and a voice rose from its depths. Your destiny lies here. Be ready. The festival morning dawned in hues of orange and gold, casting a magical glow over the village. The streets were filled with women dressed in vibrant omushasho, their hair adorned with cowrie shells and intricate beadwork. Drums echoed in the distance, their rhythms weaving through the laughter and chatter of the gathering crowd. Esiankomo rose early, donning her faded dress and tying her hair back in a simple braid. Balancing a large clay water jug on her head, she made her way to Okanjira. Her steps were heavy with resignation, yet the beauty of the morning lifted her spirits. The sacred stream, nestled among tall reeds and shaded by acacia trees, shimmered in the golden light. Even the air seemed to hum with reverence. As Esiankomo approached the water's edge, she paused to take in the scene. The stream was calm, reflecting the pastel sky. She knelt and grazed the cool surface with her fingers, the touch sending a ripple through her thoughts. Overcome with emotion, she began to hum a song her mother had taught her, a melody filled with longing and hope. The tune, soft and sweet, seemed to blend with the sounds of the stream, as if the waters themselves were listening. But she was not alone. Hidden among the reeds, Prince Pendapala had wandered from the bustling festival. Tired of the superficial displays and shallow conversations, he sought solace by the stream. His heart ached for authenticity, for a connection deeper than the smiles and pleasantries offered by women vying for his attention. The prince stilled as the melody reached his ears. Entranced, he followed the sound and came upon Esiankomo. She knelt by the water, her face radiant in the dawn light. Her simple dress and unadorned appearance made her beauty all the more striking. She seemed unaware of her own grace, and that, to the prince, was what made her extraordinary. He stepped forward, his boots crunching softly against the grass. Startled, Esiankomo turned, clutching her jug. She did not recognize him as the prince, for he wore a plain tunic instead of royal finery. "Forgive me," he said, his voice warm and steady. "I didn't mean to frighten you." Esiankomo relaxed slightly, curiosity overcoming her initial fear. "You startled me," she admitted. "But you are forgiven. What brings you here so early?" "I might ask you the same," Pendapala replied with a small smile. "You seem lost in thought." Esiankomo hesitated, unsure if she should reveal her troubles. "I came to fetch water," she said simply. "And you?" "I came seeking something," he said, a hint of mystery in his tone. "But I think I've already found it." Before Esiankomo could respond, she noticed the rising sun and gasped. "I must go," she said hurriedly. "If I'm not home soon, I'll be in trouble." Pendapala watched as she lifted the heavy jug onto her head with practiced ease. "Wait," he called after her. Reaching into his pocket, he pulled out a small golden amulet, a family heirloom that symbolized hope and protection. "Take this. It's a gift." Esiankomo's eyes widened. "I can't accept something so precious from a stranger." "Please," he insisted, "consider it a token of kindness." Reluctantly, Esiankomo accepted the amulet, tucking it into her dress. She glanced back one last time, her silhouette framed by the morning light, before disappearing into the trees. The prince stood by the stream, his heart lighter than it had been in years. Though he didn't know her name, he felt certain of one thing. He had to see her again. Esiankomo arrived home just as Taimi and her daughters were finalizing their preparations for the festival. Her stepsisters were a flurry of excitement, adorned in bright dresses and heavy jewelry that clinked with every movement. They turned to her with sneering looks as she set her clay jug down near the door. "What took you so long?" Taimi snapped, her sharp voice slicing through the room. Esiankomo lowered her gaze. "The path to the stream was slippery, and I had to be careful." "Excuses," Taimi muttered, her eyes narrowing as she scrutinized Esiankomo. "And what's this?" she demanded, stepping forward to pull at a glint of gold peeking from the folds of Esiankomo's dress. Esiankomo froze, but before she could hide it, Kakuva reached out and yanked the golden amulet free. She held it up triumphantly, her eyes widening in surprise. "Where did you get this?" she asked, her voice dripping with accusation. "Did you steal it?" "No!" Esiankomo protested. "It was a gift from someone I met at the stream." Kakuva burst into laughter. "A gift from a stranger? Do you expect us to believe that?" Taimi's expression darkened as she examined the amulet, turning it over in her hands. It was clear that this piece wasn't ordinary. It was finely crafted, the work of a royal artisan. A suspicion began to form in her mind, but she kept it to herself. Instead, she sneered at Esiankomo. "You have no right to something so precious," she said coldly. "If you're foolish enough to accept gifts from strangers, then you won't miss it when it's gone." "No, please," Isiankomo cried, reaching for the amulet, but Taimi handed it to Kandali, who inspected it greedily. "This could be our ticket to winning the prince's favor," Taimi said with a cunning smile. "Take it to the festival and claim it as your own." "But it's not theirs," Esiankomo protested. "Silence," Taimi barked, her voice harsh. "You will stay here and finish your chores. You have no place at the festival." The stepsisters giggled as they tucked the amulet into their belongings and swept out of the house with Taimi leading the way. Esiankomo sank to the ground, her chest heaving with suppressed sobs. The injustice of it all threatened to overwhelm her. She sat there for what felt like hours, clutching the edge of the table for support. Finally, she whispered a prayer to her late mother. "Help me," she said softly. "Please, show me what to do." The festival at Okanjira was in full swing. Drums echoed across the gathering, their deep rhythms pulsing through the air. Villagers mingled in colorful attire, and laughter rippled through the crowd as dancers performed intricate steps. At the center of it all was Prince Pendapala, his presence commanding attention, yet his mind far from the festivities. He scanned the crowd, hoping to glimpse the woman from the stream. The golden amulet he had given her weighed heavily in his pocket, a reminder of the connection they'd shared. Soon, Taimi and her daughters approached. Kakuva led the way, her steps deliberately graceful, while Kandali followed, clutching the stolen amulet. They curtsied low before the prince, their faces glowing with feigned modesty. "My prince," Kandali began, holding out the amulet with a practiced smile. "I believe you were looking for this." Pendapala's eyes flicked to the amulet, his heart leaping momentarily. But as he studied Kandali, unease crept in. This woman, adorned in layers of jewelry and makeup, bore no resemblance to the unpretentious girl he had met. "Is this yours?" he asked, his tone neutral. "Yes," Kandali lied smoothly. "You gave it to me this morning at the stream." Taimi stepped forward, her voice honeyed. "My daughters are too modest to speak of it, but they have been deeply moved by your kindness." Pendapala's frown deepened. "If that's true," he said slowly, "perhaps you can tell me what we spoke about." Kakova faltered, her smile faltering. "Well, we spoke of the beauty of the stream, and you gave me the amulet as a token of your admiration." "And the song?" Pendapala pressed, his voice sharper now. "Surely you remember the melody." Kakuva flushed, her mouth opening and closing as she searched for an answer. Kandali attempted to save face. "Oh yes, my prince. She sang beautifully, didn't she?" The prince's gaze hardened. His instincts told him these women were lying, but he needed proof. At that moment, Umandeya, the village elder, approached. Her wise eyes twinkled with knowing. "My prince," she said softly, "the one you seek is not here. The stream itself will reveal the truth." Back at the homestead, Esiankomo sat in the darkened kitchen, her tears slipping silently down her cheeks. She thought of the prince, the amulet, and her stepmother's cruel lies. She felt powerless, unsure of how to reclaim what was hers. A knock at the door startled her. She opened it to find Auntie Nangula, her late mother's closest friend. The elderly woman's kind face was filled with concern. "Esiankomo," she said, "why aren't you at the festival?" Esiankomo explained everything: the prince, the amulet, and her stepmother's cruelty. Auntie Nangula's expression hardened with resolve. "This cannot stand," she said firmly. "You are your mother's daughter, and she would not want you to let others steal your destiny." "But what can I do?" Esiankomo asked helplessly. "You have something stronger than proof," Auntie Nangula said. "You have the truth. Come with me." The festival quieted as Auntie Nangula and Esiankomo arrived. The crowd parted as Esiankomo stepped forward, her plain dress contrasting with the finery of the others. Whispers rippled through the villagers. "Who is she?" they asked. "Why does she look so familiar?" Prince Pendapala's eyes locked on her, recognition flaring in his gaze. "You," he said, stepping forward. "You're the one I met at the stream." The villagers gasped. Taimi tried to interject, but Pendapala raised a hand. "We will let the stream decide." One by one, Kakuva, Kandali, and Esiankomo approached the water. Only Esiankomo's jug filled effortlessly, the stream glowing softly in acknowledgement. The prince smiled, stepping forward to offer her the amulet once more. "This was always yours," he said. Esiankomo was welcomed into the palace, where her kindness and wisdom endeared her to all. Taimi and her daughters were ordered to serve the village as penance, their deceit exposed. Over time, even they sought Esiankomo's forgiveness, which she granted with grace. The royal wedding was a grand affair, celebrated by the entire kingdom. Esiankomo, now a queen, worked tirelessly to uplift others, ensuring no one in her kingdom suffered as she once had. Her story became a cherished tale, passed down through generations, a reminder of truth, resilience, and the enduring power of kindness. Thank you for joining us on this captivating journey of love, resilience, and destiny. Esiankomo's story reminds us that true beauty lies within, and that kindness and truth have the power to overcome even the darkest challenges. If this tale inspired or moved you, don't forget to share it with others who love a story of hope and triumph. Until next time, stay kind, stay true, and let your light shine.